Hello, hello, and welcome to today's topic, the topic of authenticity. This is a big one, right? Everyone wants to talk about authenticity in their business, and it is a buzzword that we use a lot. And here's the challenge with it. There are some ways that authenticity is used powerfully and some ways that it's used poorly. I'm Jennifer Maxwell, and I'm a connection strategist, and I help coaches and creatives increase their influence, impact, and income using all these amazing connection strategies. But here's the thing. Authenticity is also often played up like a really great strategy to connect with your potential clients. And it's not wrong, but here's some things that I've kind of discovered just looking at human nature about the ways in which authenticity can actually damage your brand. So let's talk about what that means. So there are 3 V's, and I've made some notes, so don't mind me if I'm looking down a little bit because I don't want to get this wrong because I've got a lot of thoughts in my mind. So the 3 V's, and the first V is vulnerability. I think that's the thing that most people feel that authenticity means, that it means to be vulnerable. And so when you're vulnerable, it really allows the people that see you to be like, okay, this is my person. Because we all feel like that sometimes, right? We all have those moments of, am I doing this okay? Am I all right? What if I'm getting it wrong? That self doubt, we all have that. So the ability to be vulnerable and to share that vulnerability with other people allows us to validate. That's V number 2. So the first one is vulnerability. When we share our vulnerabilities, it validates other people and helps them know that yes, we're all in the same boat. It doesn't matter whether you have lots of money or a little bit of money. Whether you have, certain different types of successes or others, that validation is what people are looking for. Are you able to validate those vulnerabilities? So those are the first 2 V's. But here's where people can use vulnerability in a poor way, and this will ruin your brand, is if you are expressing your vulnerability before you've reached your victory. That's the third V. So you have to have come through whatever challenge you're dealing with to reach a level of victory in order to be able to share your vulnerabilities to validate others. If you are a coach and a public eye, you cannot pick up your phone in the moment, with tears flowing and in the pain and the angst, and expect to be an authority for someone because you haven't yet figured it out. When you figure out the solution to getting through that phase, that's when you can share the path to victory. Now, that's not to say that you don't call out for help, but here's the thing. When you're a business and you're a brand, you have to have an inner circle that you share those vulnerabilities with. Everybody has their friends and their people that they're trusted advisors, and those are people that you should be leaning on in your difficult times. Imagine if Oprah picked up her phone and was really going through it. Now, that's not to say she doesn't allow those feelings to rise up, but when she feels something, she's feeling it and shows her vulnerability, like, wow, I'm really feeling the power of that. She is not a wreck, right? That's the difference. Sometimes we pick up our phones in a wreck, like there's no way out in that moment. If you're in that space of no way out, that is not the time to show your vulnerability, right? Because what it does is actually knocks down your authority. Like, oh my gosh, this person does not know how to handle their way out of this. Emotions will get the better of you if you're not able to handle them and manage them. That is why people look to authorities to help them get through those vulnerable states, because everybody has them. So people are looking to authorities for expertise on how to manage it. So, what you might come back is, here's my 3-step process in getting yourself out of that state where you can't make good decisions, or where you're not making good decisions, or where things are a bit of a wreck. There has to be a way out. And there's a reason why Tony Robbins says, change your state, because you can get sucked down into that vortex, and that's another V word, that will not help you find your way to victory. So that is the 3 takeaways today. So, I just want to be really clear. We love people that are that validate us and that show us their authenticity, but sometimes we venerate. Oh my gosh, I'm on a roll today. That's 4 V's. We venerate or we uplift people that speak their truth. Like you think of Gary V. He swears like a trucker. People love it. That's so authentic, right? But he is cursing, but he is not vulnerable. He's not in a wreck, right? We also love when people, you think about Simon Cowell and he says things like, you should never sing again. Wow, that's really harsh. And other people are like, oh my God, thank God somebody had the guts to say it, because it's true. Now, there's a reason why people think, oh, somebody else has the guts to say it, because 90% of the population doesn't. So let's just talk a little bit about that. In the disc personalities, the people that don't need, here's the thing, the people that don't need validating are the high Ds. They are self-validating, so they don't need your opinion or your validation. They really don't care. They believe in themselves. They're working through their own convictions, and that is who they rely on. Does it feel right and good for me? I'm going to do it and say it. 90% of the population do resist. We're like, no, I'm not sure that that's the thing I should be saying. So there's this validation part that comes with it. So what's interesting is that 90% of the population leans on a leader that comes from this quadrant. The Ds, they are out there doing stuff, and people love that because we wish we had those kind of guts. But here's the thing. We also are not innately born with that self-validation that Ds have. They validate themselves by their own accomplishments. And it is a great skill to watch and observe, and it's something that many of us could take on. The traits that we wish we had, like, wow, I wish I didn't need to be validated by other people, or, did I do it right? Am I okay? 90% of the population needs that. That's that validation process that comes with, the authenticity. And so when someone shares their vulnerability outside of a high outgoing person, task person, we feel connected to them. So that's part of the reason why we can't be in the moment, really thick in it and trying to deliver. You can't be, okay, let me just say this another way. You can't reach out to your clients for support. They look to you for support. So that level of vulnerability needs to get handled behind the scenes with trusted advisors. When you have figured out that solution, that's when you can come forward. There's a great quote that says, share your scars, not your wounds. You cannot be bleeding on the battlefield and sharing that. That kind of vulnerability is a poor way to deliver your brand. So that's what I just wanted to share today. Not that you're doing that, but I just had this really aha moment today about what is authenticity and what do we love about it. We love to know that we're not the only ones. That validates us. And that vulnerability is what we're looking for in other people, but it's after the fact. It's never in the moment. So as a brand, I urge you to consider when you share, do share your authenticity after you've had some victory, right? So we're going to go with, we all have that vulnerability. We all looking to be validated, and those two go hand in hand. And we can share those things. We kind of reverse engineer it. We can share our vulnerability and our validation after we've had the victory. So that's a takeaway today. Those 3 V's, lean on those as you think about, what is authenticity and what is it that my people love. If they like, if cursing is your thing and that feels authentic to you, that is not a vulnerability. It's just a way of being. So notice the difference about what really is authenticity. And I think it's that everybody wants to feel validated in some way. So however you're communicating, if you are validating people and they're like, yeah, they're just like me, that's where that connection is going to come from, not the bleeding in the streets moment. So that's your takeaway for today. comment below, subscribe, hit the like button. Let me know your thoughts on this. I'd love to hear your feedback and whether authenticity is ringing differently now for you, whether it's more of a validation tool, or if it's no, you should just kind of be all out there and let the people come to you. So I'm looking forward to your feedback, and I will connect back with you again another time. Take care.